All right, so we got to talk about when to take Social Security. You don't need to justify it to me that you can take it at 62. I don't care. I got an email from this guy, Keith, we'll call him Yellow Teeth Keith, who I can tell in his email is trying to justify taking it early. And his email is wrong on many ways, and I'll share with it. And it's just like, dude, it's like, take it early. I don't care. You don't need to justify it, dude. I'm not going to bless you for it. It's the weirdest thing to me. I get these emails or the comments all the time, like, I'm taking it 62 because I'm not stupid. I'm taking it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, it's crazy. It's the weirdest thing, man. And that's why I guess, what's that guy's name? Tim, whatever his name is down there in Florida. He has not popping up my screen lately, so I don't know what the hell is going on with that guy. And look, I don't hate the guy. I literally could care less. But maybe that's a reason why he's got so many loyal fans, because he justifies them to take it at 62. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. I'm not going to yell at you if you take it at 62. I'm just not going to do it. But when you're doing it based on faulty numbers, we got a problem, especially if you're using your faulty data and trying to propose it as if you have an understanding that you don't. All right, if that makes sense. So let's just go into this email. It actually kind of ticks me. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I hate when people use a data set and they come across it from a appeal to authority, which is what this guy's kind of doing. I hate it. I hate that appeal to authority stuff. I got a Nobel Prize in economics. We should listen to him. Dude, it drives me freaking crazy. Paul Samuelson has a Nobel Prize in economics. And in 1989, Paul Samuelson was saying the Soviet Union's economy would beat the U.S. in a matter of years. It's freaking stupid. All right, so love your stuff. And then he says 8.8% of 62-year-old men will not live until 67, let alone 70 or 80. And he says delaying taking Social Security is a benefit to the government or the House if you're a gambling man, which of course I'm not, because I like women. All right, if I was a man who did not like women, I might be a gambler. But because I like the ladies, I'm not a gambling person. He says this is his appeal to authority. I worked in insurance for a large insurance company for decades. In fact, I was even on the actuarial team for a couple of years. That appeal to authority doesn't mean anything to me. I've learned a bunch from that. Pull the data from the Social Security life period life tables. Since no one should trust a link from a stranger, you can Google this yourself and find the data. No! Holy crap, Keith! What? There's data out there? Who knew? And if you do, it tells you the mortality per year by age attained. It tells you what to do. Be sure you're doing this. When I was in the Army, I'll never forget, I just got back from Ranger School. We had a new guy as my roommate, a guy from Minnesota. So basically, I was 6 months out from getting out of, 6 to 9 months out from getting out of the military. By then, I was like E4. And we got this new guy coming up, who's my new roommate, because my old roommate, ETS, Shoemaker, was freaking awesome. And I'll never forget this guy. He's like, I'll never get him telling me, he goes, make sure you do this with our room, or make sure you do that. I'm like, dude, oh my, I'll never forget that. I was like, wait, you're telling me this? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're the new guy here, man. You don't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to when we're having an inspection of our barracks. I was like, no. I tell you what to do because I've been through this for years. I'll never forget that. Yeah, it still sticks with me. It annoyed me then. It annoys me now when a guy with less experience tells me how to do my job, essentially. And I'll just never forget, because I had just got back from Ranger School. This guy just got into our unit, just fresh out of basic training. And his first inspection, because what would happen, the first sergeant would come by, and sometimes even the battalion commander would come by, lieutenant colonel, battalion commander, I think so. And we'd come and do inspections where you'd wipe the top of the window sills and stuff like that, make sure there's no dust and whatnot. And everything had to be dressed. I'll never forget this guy. We probably 3 weeks into our unit saying, make sure you do this. I was like, dude, I'm gonna freaking, it's crazy. All right. Let's see. You should see in column number 2 that 1.5% of 62-year-old men will pass away this year. Add up the years, and numbers get scary. And then he says, key takeaways. Women are less likely to die than men every year. What? Who knew? Did you know that? I didn't know that. 8.8% of men who turn 62 will not see their 67th birthday. All right, delay break-even point. Using my own benefit number, says Yellow Teeth Keith. Waiting until 67 is full retirement age increases my distribution by roughly $900 a month. Over those 5 years, though, I will have received $115,000 in cumulative distributions. The FRA cumulative does not balance out till 78. That's my break-even point. What? I didn't know 78 was the break-even point if you take it early. Who knew? Oh man, Keith, you got to call Congress, man. You got to get out there on freaking the Joe Rogan podcast because no one knows this. Please tell people. Of course, then he says that assumes I blow the money. If I saved $115,000, that number would never catch up. Okay, well, I've done videos on that too, where the silliness of that argument. But again, Keith just came across my videos, I guarantee, and now he's like, I'm going to tell this guy how smart I am to justify my own reason to take Social Security early. Then he says here, which pisses me off, break even unlikely to happen for most. For most. That's not true. For men, assuming 78 is the same break even age, which it is, or 80 if you're taking it later at 70. Unfortunately, 50% of men turning 62 will never see their 79th birthday. The house wins. Huh? You sure you want to go that route? You're saying the majority of men who turn 62 will never see their 79th birthday? You sure you want to go that route? Why delay past 62? Then he says, you've answered that to some regard. All right, so let's go into the actual numbers here. All right, so we're going to look at some data sets from the CDC. This is if you're 65, all right, a male's life expectancy at 65 is 17 years old. 17 more years, which is, my caveman mind says 82, all right? That's your life expectancy if you're a male at 65. But Josh, that's not 62. Here's your odds of living if at a certain attained age. And we'll see men right here. All men is in the second column, or third column, I guess. At 65, it's 17.8 years. All men at 60 is 21 years. So at 62, it's about 20 years or so. That's 82 years old. All right, so again, the likelihood of you living as a male at 60 is 21.3 years. That's an 81.3 life expectancy. At 65 is basically 18 years, which is 80, whatever that is, 83, something like that, 65 plus 18. So you factor into both around 80 to 81 years old. And that's just all men. You take in white men, which what I am, a white guy, I got my white privilege card right here. So we got all, total male, female, Hispanic, whites. So it's whiteys right here. We got to go to male, which is right here. If we're 60 years old, our life expectancy is 21.5, and if we're 65 years old, it's 17.9. Hispanics' life expectancy for men, I'm not Hispanic, so for me, that's not relevant, but it might be for you. Maybe Keith is Hispanic, I don't know, but he's not. It's 22 years. So Hispanic men have a longer life expectancy than white men, which is obviously discriminatory. So, I mean, let's see if we can't make this. It doesn't. By the way, Asians live longer than any group, which inherently is discriminatory against us whiteys. We need affirmative action now. Women live longer. We need affirmative action now. For white men, we're being discriminated against. Black men too. So let's join forces, black men and white men, and say we need affirmative action now because we're both being discriminated against when it comes to life expectancy. Now that's just basic racial characteristics. Your sexual organ plus your racial characteristics. I work out a lot. I walk 4 miles a day on a treadmill going up a steep incline. I'm outside getting that vitamin D. I don't stress that much because life is good. I don't commute freaking an hour each way on a 400 and then 85, 75 down to Atlanta. So I'm not on the road, which is very risky. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any drugs. I got a beautiful, beautiful wife, the most beautiful wife on all YouTube. And if you say otherwise out there, you're wrong. You're getting banned. I got 2 dogs that make me happy. I eat well. I eat tons of red meat. I try to avoid a lot of high fat stuff, high sugar stuff, even though I don't really do a good job, but still pretty healthy guy. Now, if I smoked, if I drank, if I drove drunk, if I did a motorcycle, if I was 50 pounds obese, I'm eating freaking hot dogs every day, that's a whole different story. So I don't know about Keith, but just his whole number set is just incorrect, man. Now, will he be? And then never mind the fact I got a wife who's 4 years younger than me, who's earned significantly less income than I have. All right. So for me, it's a matter of, do I want to leave my wife a lower benefit upon my demise or a higher benefit? Inherently, I want to leave her a higher benefit. Again, if you're single, on the other hand, I don't have any problem taking a 62. I just think married men should think twice, because it's not just you, it's your spouse. And if you got young kids, and more men are having young children. I got a guy who I am working with. I said, you should take it at 62, because you got a child that's like 9 or something like that. He was getting jiggy with his younger wife when he was in his mid-50s. Kudos to him, man. He's still populating the world with kids to pay our Social Security. But you don't need to justify it to me. But if you're going to do it, don't send me a long email and saying, hey, essentially saying, look, this is why I did it. I don't care. I just don't get it if you got a wife, man. If you got a wife, unless your wife's significantly older than you and not in good shape, well, even then I don't get it necessarily. I don't know. All right, just to each his own. But I don't need the justification. I'm not going to bless your decision. I'm not going to bless your decision if you wait till 70. I don't care. I just put up the data set that's legitimately of a concern to you, my friends out there in YouTube land. Just say, here's an aspect we haven't thought about. All right. Love to hear your thoughts. God bless. I guess real quick, the reason I don't like the life expectancy numbers, and he's using a Social Security data, and I've done 1,000 videos on that data set, man. It's crazy. The whole thing with life expectancy is a lot of people think their life expectancy is 78, but that's life expectancy at birth. If you're watching this channel, inherently, you're going to have a different life expectancy than a life expectancy at birth, because you're not a newly born baby. I know it's crazy, and some of you act like it, but you're just not. Right. Love your thoughts. God bless. We'll see you.